but first of all, you were touched by the truth, not the truth that was being told to you from outside, not an idea of the truth, but in your own experience, the reality of your own experience that was revealed to you and in you. And this is sometimes, for years we've been carrying around a kind of conceptual edifice through which we see the world and others and ourselves, and we think on behalf of this conceptual framework, we feel on its behalf, we act and relate on its behalf, and then something like what you're describing happens, and the edifice is really shaken. It's sometimes it's just blown apart in one go. That occasionally happens. More often it's shaken and it begins to crack, and then it's shaken again, and more cracks appear, and then it's shaken again, and eventually it begins to crumble and fall down. And this crumbling and falling down of the edifice leaves us without our familiar reference points. Everything that seemed to be solid and certain and reliable is no longer there to be relied on, no longer there for us to invest our sense of self, our sense of security in. So it can be quite disorientating, particularly if it happens dramatically or suddenly. It can be disorientating and even frightening. And the normal impulse in such a situation is to reject this new experience and to go for the old familiarities, to go for the old securities. So that obviously didn't happen in your case, but it left you in a strange land, not knowing quite how to behave, and hence the feeling, I'm losing control here. Is this dangerous? So the first thing is to understand the process, so that you see why this is happening, but also to realize that in time the normal ways of functioning will come back to you. You're not going to be left in a state of madness and disorientation and insecurity for the rest of your life, unable to function or relate. This is just it's the result of the rigidity of the body and the mind being profoundly shaken by what you're hearing and experiencing. And so there is this complete disorientation and insecurity and fear. But in time, all the faculties of the body and the mind, they come back again. But they come back in a way that is consistent with our understanding. So we no longer have to build the walls in the same way, the same shape. All the faculties of the body and the mind, which means all the faculties of thinking, acting, relating, perceiving, doing, they all come back, whatever those particular faculties are in your particular case, whatever the faculties of your body-mind are, they will come back. What doesn't come back is the sense of separation. So all the old tendencies of the body-mind will come back and are now available to share and express your new understanding. But there may be a little transitional stage during which the old shape of the body-mind has crumbled or is crumbling, and the body-mind has yet to be colonized by our new understanding. So there may be a period of disorientation. Sometimes it lasts quite a long time, and we spend a couple of years sitting on a park bench, or 10 years sitting in a cave being eaten by ants. Those are extreme examples. For most of us, it doesn't happen like that. There's a gradual crumbling, a gradual reorientation, a bit more crumbling, a bit more reorientation, a bit more crumbling, a bit more reorientation. So for many of us it's a relatively smooth journey, punctuated by odd moments of crises that don't last too long. So what you were experiencing was just one of these moments, that the solidity of your world is crumbling, and the familiarity, all the things that you invested your identity and security in are no longer there when you need them, and there is this fear. But be courageous, and you are courageous. It's okay to take care of yourself physically. Don't go driving when you're having one of these episodes. Go for a nice walk with your husband, or lie on your bed, or just because it'll pass. These are states of the body and the mind. They're not really what we're interested in. What you're describing are the effects, the after effects in the body and the mind of this transparent knowing of our own being. So it'll pass, the body and the mind will come back. It won't be quite the same. It'll come back in a new way. It's been profoundly altered. And then there will be more crumbling, and more alteration in the body-mind. So just manage the body-mind. Do whatever you need to do. Go and rest, go for a walk, don't drive, that kind of thing. But don't worry about going mad. The previous position, the position of the separate self, is truly a position of madness. That is the real madness. Don't worry about losing it. Even if the new shape hasn't quite come into focus yet, just be okay with being a little bit shapeless for a while, but manage life practically during the process. It will stabilize, the body and mind stabilize in time, in this understanding.
Thank you.
I had a similar experience yesterday. It was a very intense session for me also. I felt so much love and happiness, and suddenly there was great fear for this happiness. And then you told that about the homeopathic doses of God. And I realized that the real happiness is immense.
Mm-hmm.
But it provokes fear also.
A woman in California came up to me recently, having had exactly the same kind of experience that you're describing after a conversation we had had. She came up to me the next day and she said, just feeling this love that you described, not the fear in her case, but the love. She said, how do you manage not to go around hugging everybody? And so I said, it's much easier for an English man than for a Californian woman. Don't worry about the fear. The fear is the death cries of the separate self. It's the separate self crying out, saying, help, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to die. I've spent my whole life protecting myself and aggrandizing myself through objects and others. And now I see that my days are numbered, and I don't want to go. Although strangely, what I long for most of all is to disappear, although I also fear it. It's just like the moth that flies towards the flame. Flame is all the moth is attracted to. All it wants is the light. And as it gets close to the light, it thinks, oh, help, it's hot. I don't think I really want that. And it flies away again. It goes away into the darkness. But when it's in the darkness, all it wants is the flame. It just turns around and goes back again. It flies towards the flame, and it just gets there and thinks, oh, it's hot. If I go there, I'm going to die. I this fear is coming very, very close to the flame, the separate self coming close to dissolving, and at the last minute thinking, oh, help, I thought this was what I wanted, I thought this love and happiness was what I wanted, but now I realize that to have it, I have to die, and I don't want to die. So we contract again. That's what the fear is. You're coming, the separate self is coming to the precipice. I'm mixing my metaphors here. Coming up to the flame, and at the last minute it goes, oh help, I'm going to die. I thought that I would be there to experience the love and the happiness. I thought that it was for me. It's not for the separate self. The separate self cannot taste what it truly desires. It doesn't know that. To begin with, it doesn't realize that. It thinks I, the separate self, can have and know the happiness I long for. But this fear, in this fear, it realizes, without knowing it to begin with, that I have to die to experience this happiness. The happiness is not for me, it's in my absence. So it's very natural that this love and fear often come together. But great fear is precipitated by great love. So just next time you find yourself close to the flame, see that what you truly want, what you truly long for in life is not going to die if you say yes to this invitation, if you go all the way into the flame. But it's not, don't fight the fear, to just be loving with it. See that it's a natural response of the self sense of separation as it realizes that its days are numbered.